Johnny Garrett. Johnny, thanks for being with us, Johnny.
Thank you very much, John, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Now, Johnny, you're House Minority Whip in Nashville. Let me just start, before we get into your congressional race, let me just start in Nash Vegas with all the nonsense that went on with a couple of your rabble-rousers in there that, got thrown out by the Sergeant of Arms and got dispelled. Then they came back. I mean, what is the deal with that?
It's the woke left. I was the House Majority Whip, still am, and I'm a lawyer and was also the chief prosecutor of throwing those three people out that took over the People's House. And it was, I asked a clerk that had worked there for a long, long time if they had ever seen anything like that in the history of their tenure, and they absolutely not. The disrespect they showed to Tennesseans across this great state by doing a protest in the middle of the well was spitting on all Tennesseans, and I couldn't stand for it. So we worked hard to rectify that, and unfortunately, the woke left in Memphis and Nashville, their councils decided to send them back. They're the least ineffective folks in the legislature, and that's what these woke cities, decided to do, to send them back for the antics that they caused. They're not state representatives. They're activists, and it's unfortunate that we have folks that actually hold office as dear as we hold office like that here in Tennessee. But we're working hard to make sure those folks don't get a stronghold here in conservative Tennessee.
Johnny, tell me a little bit about your Nashville mayor. Now, I own a station in Nashville, WENO AM 740. My blowtorch there. I go there a lot because I'm a Titans fan. Unfortunately, now things haven't gone well in the last couple seasons. But, it's a beautiful city, but it's gone like crazy woke. And you got a basically nut job mayor in there. Give us a little feel of what's going on in downtown Nashville.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I'm running for Congress, right? To support President Trump's immigration policies, because it's working. Here we have a mayor that wants to continue to make, against Tennessee law, Nashville a sanctuary city, just like Biden made America a sanctuary country. That's what we're fighting right here in our largest city in the state of Tennessee, and it's absolutely ridiculous. I've been one of the first members of the legislatures to criticize the mayor and his antics, and will continue to do so because we don't need sanctuary politicians. We need to throw them out, and we're going to beat them at the ballot box every single time. And that's one of the reasons why I think it's important of who we have in Congress and who we continue to elect good conservatives in our legislature.
Tell me about the. I know you're running for Congress, but I'm just trying to get a feel. You guys have passed some major conservative legislation in the Tennessee legislature. Tell me what some of those bulwarks are.
I'll tell you the one that we've passed recently that was actually upheld at the U.S. Supreme Court was the mutilation of children. Those folks the parents that want to make their minor children, because they believe they have some sort of affliction, to change their gender, to actually cut body parts off. Tennessee led that effort 2 years ago, passed that piece of legislation. The ACLU, the woke left, fought as hard as they possibly could, suing the state to make sure kids, through their parents, can cut body parts off. Thank goodness we've got a conservative U.S. Supreme Court that saw the light, saw the need, saw the ability to protect our children here in Tennessee. And my hope is that there's federal legislation to follow to make sure we can protect our kids when woke parents think that cutting body parts off is going to do anything for them. It's just, I can't even believe we have to have that discussion. It's one of the reasons why I'm passionate about President Trump's agenda and what we can accomplish with good and more conservatives here in Tennessee and conservatives in Congress.
Johnny Garrett with us. Johnny is the Tennessee House Majority Whip. He's going to be running for Congress. He is running for Congress in Tennessee's 6th District. That's kind of the Nashville, Davidson, Middle Tennessee area. All within our coverage on WENO AM 740, one of our stations. And he'll be taking over, or he'll be running in the seats that's being vacated by current Congressman John Rose, who was running for Tennessee governor because the current governor's term is expiring. Just as knowledge here, Marsha Blackburn expected to get in that race, and when she does, she'll be the prohibitive favorite over John Rose or anybody else, but still has yet to announce. So right now it's all John Rose. So why do you want to run for Congress?
Well, look, because I'm a conservative, and we need more conservative fighters fighting for President Trump's agenda, because President Trump's agenda has proven already good for Tennesseans and good for this country. That's why I'm running for Congress. That's what I've been doing in the state house as majority whip for the past 7 years. And that's what I'll continue to do, is to bring a little Tennessee to DC. So I'm excited about this opportunity, excited to talk to you about the campaign, and excited to talk to people of the 6th district.
Would you have voted for Trump's one big, beautiful bill?
I would have voted twice for that piece of legislation. It's going to do wonders for our economy. It's going to put money back into people's pockets. Just the other day, I was at the grocery store and told my wife when we were shopping that, there's a quart of orange juice for $9. We know since President Trump has been elected how inflation now is at zero, or at least real close to zero. Gas prices are falling. That's all because of President Trump's agenda, what he's doing for the America First agenda, and what I'm excited about, that we can continue his agenda if indeed the 6th district believes that I'm going to be the best conservative candidate coming up in the election next August.
Let's go to the international front. Would you vote for additional arms for Ukraine?
I look and I trust President Trump's judgment on that.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking if you would vote for additional arms for Ukraine if it came up for a vote.
I think that we have to make sure that in that region that we need to put pressure on other countries. We need to make sure that it can't be just U.S. We can't be involved in the Ukraine process from year on year. In wars all the time. So I, as President Trump has done, and I would support what President Trump is going to do, but we've got to put pressure on other nations like UK. Where are they? Where are they to help support the effort there in Ukraine? We can't just keep funding them forever and ever.
So I'll take that as a no.
I do think there's going to be those issues is what I would do, and support ultimately and trust what President Trump will do.
So basically, if Trump wanted to send money to Ukraine, if that was his decision, you would back that.
I would back the ability for him to make sure that we can get more people involved, so we're not continually in an unlimited, unforeseen, long-time war there in Ukraine. But I would trust his judgment and ultimately let him decide. Because
Johnny Garrett, let's stay with foreign policy. Gaza. Ceasefire or Netanyahu just wipe out Hamas?
Well, look,
which do you prefer?
Regardless, we've got to stand with Israel. We got to support our strongest ally in the region. That's the only democracy there, right? And I think President Trump has done an outstanding job. He's completely obliterated Iran's capability, can never get a nuclear weapon. And so I think that's the most important thing for that region, is to stand with Israel in that region and support President Trump and what he's doing. In my opinion, I think he's been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. I think he should win the Nobel Peace Prize. Peace through strength is what President Trump has done, and that's what I agree with, and that's the road I think we should take.
Let's get back to domestic policy. President Trump's tariffs going into effect. He gave a pause now until August 1st through negotiations. How do you stand on tariffs?
Well, I think, President Trump has done a lot of amazing things. He's made a lot of great deals in his career, and he's also made a lot of great trade deals as president. And my hope is that he continues to do that. He continues to say and use all tools that he can necessary to make sure he can enter into great deals as he's done in the past. That's one of the reasons why I'm running, right? It's because he's putting America first. He's putting America's ideals, America's companies, making sure we bring manufacturing back here. And I believe he needs every tool in the toolbox to make that happen. And I think he's been doing that. And so my hope is that he will continue to make great deals, that we can support his agenda, because that's going to bring more money back to the 6th district, more money back for Tennesseans to put in their pockets to support his agenda and make sure he's successful. Johnny
Garrett with us. Johnny is the House Minority Whip in Tennessee, Republican, running for the seat of John Rose, which is Tennessee 6th. That's kind of the central Tennessee area. Johnny, when is this primary?
The primary will be in August, which will be just over a year now. We're going to have a great campaign. We've got a great team put together, and I'm looking forward to meeting just about everybody I can in the 6th district. And that's why I'm so thankful that you've allowed me to come on your program and get the word out about the campaign. We're real excited about it.
Johnny, I forget how this works in Tennessee now. And I got so many states I'm in, rules change. Is it a closed primary or open?
We have an open primary system here, I believe, that anybody can vote in the Republican primary, which will be August the 6th of 2026. So
is there a 50% or plurality rule?
What do you mean by that? Let me ask what you mean by that.
Like if there's 3 people in your race and you get 33% and the others get 31%, do you win?
Right. It's whoever has the most votes at the end of the day.
Okay, so no, it's just a plurality. Whoever gets the most votes. That sounds good. And this is pretty much a Republican seat, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm excited to run and support President Trump's agenda, because it's a Trump plus 30 district. So it's a highly conservative district, which is reflected in my record as I've been in the state house. So I'm excited to be what I believe is the best only conservative candidate in the race for the 6th district.
What do you think about these Epstein files?
I think it's interesting. I don't know too much. I know that there was some that there are these files. There are not. Me being a lawyer, I know there are some things that are privileged that just can't be released. I don't know if that's what AG Bondi has in mind, but I think it's a little bit possibly an interesting case. I hope we get more transparency on what actually happened there. I think that's important.
I agree with that. I think just closing the book on it after it's like they opened the book, looked at it, then said, "Oh boy, there's something in here. We got to release it." Then they delved into it. Then they said, "Nothing to see here."
That's right.
Don't you find that a little inconsistent?
I find, and again, that's the legal process. Unfortunately, we find ourselves in there. Again, we don't know all the details, so we don't know what they can actually release and what they can't. But my hope is, and that's one of the things that I want to do if I'm lucky enough to earn the support of the 6th district, is make things like that more transparent, right? Because we need to get to the bottom of that. We need to know who was involved, et cetera. And so my hope is that the good people of the 6th district will see that I'm kind of a frank talking guy, and I want to be their guy. And I look forward to the campaign trail and making that possibly clear to be the most conservative candidate in the race as it relates to just about anything we can talk about today on your show and on the campaign trail for the next year.
Do you think President Trump should fire Jerome Powell?
Yes, I do. Because government is slow anyway, right? I mean, when we talk about the action of the government, it just takes a while, and he's slow to react. And that's one thing President Trump has done since he's been president. When he says something, he does it. And I believe he's right. I believe he's been too slow to reduce the interest rates. And if he does, I think not only with the big, beautiful bill and what that's going to do to our economy to spur business, spur spending, put people's dollars back in their money. Mortgage rates need to be better. Home ownership needs to be better. I don't understand why Jerome Powell doesn't understand that. He's a pretty smart guy, but so far he's not been too impressive.
All right, we're going to move along to, I got a lot of questions here because you are running for Congress and you're the House Minority Leader. So I get the double bonus, right?
The majority whip.
Yeah, majority whip.
I don't want to stop my good friend William Lambert, who's our majority leader.
You should be the majority leader just based on this interview. You should be a majority leader. But hopefully you're going to Congress. I'm going to switch gears here to national athletics. This NIL thing, right?
Yeah.
So you got another player now in Vanderbilt, which is downtown Nashville. I used to live there right by the stadium. I lived in so many different places, dude. It's unbelievable. I lived in Nashville, and let's see, who was the mayor? Who got elected mayor when I was there? The guy that ended up running for governor. What was his name?
Phil Bredesen?
Phil Bredesen. He was a Democrat that campaigned as a conservative, like pro-business guy.
That's right.
I think I voted for him. I really do.
Wow.
I can't remember. I don't remember who he ran against for mayor, but I didn't like the mayor. I was in Nashville. I didn't like the mayor. I might have voted for him. I don't remember. But I know I didn't vote for the mayor that had the affair with the state police guy. I didn't do that. I was
yeah. Well,
I forget that lady. I was
cemetery of all places.
I was well gone by then.
I mean, I'm telling you, Nashville writes its own script.
It is something. I lived there 2 years, maybe 3 with Ann, and Joe, my older son, was a baby there, and I had a good time. I lived right by Vanderbilt, and I used to go to the basketball games when their coach that became the AD. I think he's since passed, but and then I went to their football games. So anyway, long story. Of course, I'm a Titans fan. We'll get to that in a minute. I only got 3 minutes, but you got another Vanderbilt player that's suing the NCAA for eligibility. Like his eligibility ran out. Like NCAA has rules. You can only play 4 years, red shirt, whatever. Eligibility ran out. Now he's suing for another year of eligibility because he wants to get the NIL money. Who's in charge?
That's right. Well, it's interesting, not to segue into, sports, but even have the whole men playing in women's sports thing. Some things I just can't believe we're talking about. And so I think it's an interesting dynamic, right? And that's one of the things why I'd be excited about going to Congress to tackle that, because obviously NIL, as it relates, it's not just a Vanderbilt problem. It's not just a UT problem. It's a nationwide problem for people to have competition, free market, trade, et cetera, but also be fair. Right. So I do think it's interesting that a player like the fella at Vanderbilt, let's just be real. He's probably going to make more money as a college player than he ever would in the NFL. And that's kind of what's happening now. People are capitalizing on their talent in college, and going from college to pros is a little bit different. So they're capitalizing on the money they can make now. Can't blame them, right? In a free market society, but I think it's interesting suing for more eligibility when look, all you get's 4 years. And so it's just an interesting dynamic. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that industry will develop.
Tyler, hold the music for a minute, because we got the most important topic coming up. This is going to determine whether or not you have a chance to get my endorsement or not.
Okay.
Are you a Titans fan? Yes or no?
Yes, I have been, and I'm proud to say, except I didn't renew because the stadium's so long, but I was a founding member since 1999. Had my season tickets up until last year, and just what the cost was going to be to renew in the new stadium, I couldn't do it. So I'm hopeful that maybe I can borrow your tickets sometime.
Listen, I am so glad you brought that up. First of all, I'm a Titans fan. Worst game ever was a Cincinnati game. Worst game ever. The playoff game. Tannehill throws 3 interceptions. Should have won that game by 2 touchdowns. Unbelievable. Anyway, I don't want to relive that nightmare that day with my family. But same thing. Like right now, we suck. I mean, we absolutely suck, right? Amy takes the team over. Whatever, go Amy, right? Joan of Arc, whoever they think he is. But then they get this brand new stadium, and then like I couldn't renew my tickets. And I got season tickets. I can get them because I own a business there, even though I don't live there. So they have a rule: if you own a business, you get tickets. The money they want for that new stadium, like the licensing fees, were like it was like $2,000 a piece. Like, I'm going to pay for it, and then you got to buy the tickets.
Oh,
and we suck.
What really burned me was the credit they wanted to give me towards my other ticket. That just kind of burned me up. So I'm not a season ticket holder anymore, but certainly support the team. Support, it's gonna they're gonna do a lot of good things.
I'm running out of time. People want to follow you. Where do they go?
JohnnyGarrettForCongress.com. I'm on Facebook, Twitter. You got a YouTube channel. But if they want to go to my website, JohnnyGarrettForCongress.com, that's where they can get involved. That's where they can get inactive. That's where they can support a true conservative candidate for Congress in the 6th here in Tennessee.
Johnny, thank you. Let's go Titans. When you get there, pass a law. Here's what I wanted to say. If it's 3rd and 10 or more, the Titans cannot run the football. Pass that law.
Done. Easy.
John Fredericks,
thank you very much for having me.